So, some of you might be wondering why I haven't talked about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial yet. Well, primarily the reason was because everybody already knows about it, everybody has already realized that Johnny Depp is innocent, so it's like, what the hell can I add, right? But after seeing this article, I had to say something because the SJWs, well, you know what? Even most SJWs have actually taken Johnny Depp's side. That's how bad Amber Heard is, okay? But not everybody has taken Johnny Depp's side. There are a few ultra retards who have not taken his side. And I don't really give a fuck that this was labeled as an opinion article, because your opinion is fucking insane. So I had to make a video talking about why it's time to believe Amber Heard. Now look, before I read the article though, we do need to cover a few important things. The first is, when information came out about this long before the actual trial started, we're talking like 2015, 2016, a lot of people, intelligent people, already knew from the information that was available that Amber Heard was abusive and Johnny Depp was the victim. But what pisses me off, firstly, was that a lot of people, the dumber people, went in to this. They started off with the assumption that Amber Heard was the victim. Now, did any of the available information at the time point to that? No. At the time, it was just speculation and accusation from both of them. But the assumption was that Amber was the victim. Now you might say, well, Matt, it's not fair to assume Johnny was either, but I didn't. In fact, no one did. There were only two options at the time. A, Amber's the victim, or B, sitting there saying, I don't know yet. There was no third option of Johnny's the victim. And do you know why that is? Because Amber's a woman. And I am so fucking sick and tired of this. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, sure, most people realize it now, but do you not see why this in our society is a constant problem for years now? That people just assume that a woman is the victim just because she's a woman, despite overwhelming facts showing the opposite. And I'm not just talking about this trial, I'm talking about domestic abuse overall. You know, stats like how 70% of all domestic abuse is initiated by women. And half of all domestic abuse victims are men, meaning half are also women. It's almost right down the middle of 50-50, except that women initiate most of it. These facts are constantly ignored. And I would always bring them up in my rants, kind of like my men are more oppressed than women rant. And you know, this rant here, the truth about cancel culture, is also a very important rant that has some relevance here. In this video, I was talking about why cancel culture is cancer culture. But to summarize one of the more important points, I basically explained how cancel culture is effectively just the act of boycotting somebody. If they're a celebrity, you don't watch their movies anymore, you don't support them with donations financially, you don't, if it's like a YouTuber, you stop watching their videos, you know, that's what it is. It's basically boycotting. But I didn't like the term cancel culture, because no matter if the person deserves it or doesn't, the term actually harms your case. It actually does. Because if the person does deserve it, I believe that this term just trivializes what they did. And in this video, I use Onision as an example. Watch the video if you want to see what I mean by that. But if the person doesn't deserve it, of course, it's far worse because you've ruined their life for no reason. And the thing about cancel culture is that it's a trendy thing. Meaning that if you cancel somebody, find out later that they didn't actually deserve to be canceled, they still remain canceled because you did it as a trend. And people never go back on trends. People never, apologize for a trend or say, no, I take it back, because it's part of the trend to follow. That's kind of what trends are. You follow them. But if a person genuinely deserves it, using this term is harmful in every capacity. But that's what people are doing to Johnny Depp. And, of course, many other people who have been canceled throughout the last, 7 years, right? But for Johnny Depp specifically, that's what happened. He was just preconceived to be this evil abuser, was canceled for it, and although most people now have, realized the truth, the effects of your cancel culture bullshit actually have affected him. Look at what he's been through. Look at the fact that he's lost multiple jobs. He's lost multiple movies. He lost Pirates of the Caribbean and many other things. Whereas to this day, Amber Heard has still not lost Aquaman. Why? Because she's a woman. That's the fucking reason. Because she's a woman. In our day and age, you can be an abusive woman and not lose a job. But you can be an innocent man who is just accused of abuse with no proof and still lose your job. And again, that's not just celebrities, that's everybody. There's a reason why, statistically speaking, men's lives are ruined just by facing an accusation. He can lose his job, his family, his kids, his reputation, his home, his car. But women, if they make a false accusation, normally get no consequences whatsoever. That's just how our world is. It's been like that for a long time. And then another thing that I hate about this is how people are not only talking about the trial in a trendy way, but they're actually making the trial itself into a trend. For example, people are literally saying, "Are you Team Johnny or Team Amber?" What the fuck? Team Johnny and Team Amber? What? What do you mean you're picking a team? Can you fucking stop making a game or a trend off of a fucking domestic abuse case? Again, if this was a female victim case, you would not be saying, "Are you team female or team men?" Insert name of person in the example. You wouldn't be saying that. You'd be making videos like, "Oh, poor girl, I hope you get the help you need." But because it's a male victim, it's, "Are you Team Johnny?" Like, what? I fucking hate this shit. This is a serious thing, okay? This is not a funny fucking game just because the victim is a man. I'm so fucking tired of this. And let's look at some of the stats anyway. Courts issue 1.5 million false or trivial temporary restraining orders every year, most of which are filed by women. But in half of them, no physical violence actually occurred, because these are women who just filed a restraining order because some guy, walked up to her and asked her a question and she felt uncomfortable or something. But society takes them as abuse cases, or thinks they're abuse cases anyway. 85% of all of them target men. Only 15% are against women. And let me tell you how that works. Because the 15% against women are like crazy stalkerish women or angry exes, that kind of a thing. But I'm willing to bet you that 15% is way less than the amount of men who actually want to file a restraining order. And here's why. When you file a restraining order, you actually have to tell them the person's address. So to avoid telling them their address, they just don't file them at all. Because, let's face it, I'm pretty sure that if a woman was to violate the restraining order, she would, as usual, face very little consequences. So the man thinks, fuck it, I'd rather just not file it at all. There are, on average, 700,000 false charges of domestic violence each year in the US. And if we consider the fact that 1.5 million cases are filed, that means half of them are fucking false. And they're mostly by women. Take that how you will. But with all that being said, let's finally dig in and read this fucking insane article, shall we? Okay, bullshit about the trial itself. Let's get into why you think we should believe her. They start off here, finally, by saying, "We could never be sure of the absolute truth." Right. Just because she's a woman, is that the reason? Because the absolute truth has already come out. It came out before the trial even started, and even more so now. But if it was a female victim, you would say, "We can be sure. Believe all women." Still, despite the fact that London's High Court previously found allegations that Depp was a wife-beater to be substantially true, okay, the internet appears to have overwhelmingly picked Depp's side because of a little thing called evidence. Last week, Justice for Johnny Depp was trending on Twitter. Yesterday, it was Amber Heard. Why not? Go on social media, and the anti-Heard sentiment is palpable. I wonder why. The memes have been ferocious, sometimes consisting of a spot the difference comparison with domestic abuse victims. You write that like it's a problem. So you don't want people to show previous cases of domestic abuse, compare them to Johnny, and show how Johnny is showing similar traits of a victim. Why? Is that evidence too strong for you? You can't defend Amber when people are literally showing Depp's body language and stuff to show that he is a literal victim with trauma? I see. At other times, televised courtroom footage has been appropriated to openly mock her appearance. It is plain misogyny. Do you need some help carrying that goalpost? The company behind the makeup compact Heard used to hide her bruises even made a TikTok disputing her claims. Because she lied. Heard is being systematically jeered at and ridiculed like a medieval criminal in the stocks as she catalogs historic abuse as she alleges rape. Because even people in Heard's past have gone against her, like Elon Musk, she abused him as well. I recently learned that Amber Heard is actually bisexual and she had a girlfriend before Elon Musk who she also abused. There's a bit of a pattern here. Have we completely lost track of the severity of these allegations? You have! I mean, granted, in the beginning of the video I was talking about how people are making it into a trend, and yes, those people have lost the ability to see how severe it is. However, not in the same way that you are thinking. In reality, it's because he's a man, so everyone's making it into a big fucking laughing gaming trend. You're doing it because you want women to be believed no matter how unbelievable they are. But a little bit of a difference there, buddy. We all understand that Depp fans will side with Depp, and so will any sane person, but even the less aggressively Depp-pilled want to believe that the Caribbean pirate is blameless. If not squeaky clean, then at least under the duress of drug addiction or acting out of character. Can I point out, by the way, that his drug use or alcohol abuse doesn't make him a fucking abuser. I am aware that he got into pretty heavy drugs and alcohol. But when you're with someone like Amber Heard, I'm not even going to ask, can you blame him? I'm just going to say straight up, you can't blame him. You literally cannot blame him, okay? That his violence can be somewhat explained away by a lapse of judgment or circumstance or both. Or acting out because that's what PTSD can do to you, but okay, whatever. We certainly don't want to believe that this entire court case is a precise and conniving operation in discrediting Heard. Regardless of what she has to say, regardless of her truth. Amber Heard is a narcissist, possible sociopath, pathological liar. So I don't really give a fuck about her truth. I care about the truth that is being showed. I care about the lawyers catching her lying and contradicting herself and admitting to hitting Johnny Depp, or when she literally fucking said this.
I had a can of mineral spirits thrown at my nose.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and yes. It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
Tell the world that I, Johnny Depp, were abused, am a victim, and we'll see how many people believe you. This is textbook, especially in modern day, what abusive women tell men. And by the way, in case you're wondering, this is also the reason, it's one of the reasons why abused men don't come forward. Aside, of course, from being shamed for it and called weak and all that stuff, fear. There's also the reason of, you're a man. You can't be abused. Only I can be abused because I'm a woman. No one will believe you. And the funny thing is, that's probably the one time Amber Heard was being honest. Because at first, like 2016 and stuff, no one believed Johnny because he's a man. That's the fucking reason. That is literally the fucking reason. So fuck you, okay? Seriously, just oh my god. I don't want to think about what this is saying to victims of abuse who are considering coming forward. It's actually doing really well. Johnny Depp is a man who said, I've had enough of being falsely accused. I've had enough of being silent just because I'm a man. I'm going to come forward and tell the truth. Not my truth or her truth or whatever. I'm telling the fucking truth. And because of Johnny Depp, I actually hope that a lot of other male abuse victims come forward for their abuse too. Because men feel so much shame for coming forward about abuse and rape. Because our society has drilled into men's mind, this is a fact, that men cannot be raped and cannot be abused. And if a man does come forward about rape, for example, he's called gay because it's like, what, you don't enjoy sex? You're a man. Just all these things men are told. So I don't give a fuck what you're afraid of. Like, you're afraid that men will be telling the truth? Oh god, you can't have that. And regardless of what Heard did or didn't suffer at the hands of Depp, isn't the relentless memeing of her a form of violence in itself? Are you seriously comparing her abuse towards Johnny to the fucking memes on Twitter? You are fucked, girl. Oh my... Wow. Is the pummeling by social media not a type of psychological assault? Yeah, because she doesn't deserve it at all. Are we not witnessing a modern-day witch trial? Well, she is a witch, so is that not good enough? Okay, passing by useless stuff in this paragraph. I spent a lot of time wondering if everyone's lost the plot. Are you really going to pretend that this article is not tone-deaf? But okay. If the erosion of empathy we see online has rendered us so inherently unkind as a species that there's no return. Okay, but here's the fucking funny thing. What you're implying, I think, is that even though Amber is guilty as sin, we should still be nice to her. But let me ask you a question. If Johnny Depp was the abuser here, and everybody was memeing him, would you say, well, Johnny Depp may be the problem, but you should still be respectful? No, you wouldn't. Why? Because he's a man. That's the reason. I don't want to despair for humanity. Well, I do, and this article is a reason. I want to believe that some of us are offline and mildly compassionate or compassionate in a way that doesn't get tweeted about. That you're all out there being nice to each other, and I'm reporting on a tiny cluster of internet users with pitchforks. Though I felt myself veering toward it, I can no longer both sides this. It's time to draw a line. It's time to believe women. All women. Yes, let's believe all women. And you know what, too? I'm proud of you. That right there is let me just highlight it, actually. This right here is the perfect thing to say during a very fucking heavy domestic violence case that can actually help not just Johnny Depp, but millions of abused men all around the world who are too afraid to come out of fear of being shamed. You are actually trying to make them feel shame again, whereas Johnny Depp could actually bring that shame down. And you want to actually, you are literally telling men, be ashamed, be ashamed, be ashamed. Seriously, fuck you, you piece of shit. It is not time to believe all women. In fact, what this trial should do for women is actually make them more suspicious, okay? Not less, more, okay? Because I am fucking sick of false claims. First of all, I'm fucking fed up with false claims, but I'm also fed up of women ruining men's lives with false claims, getting away with it scot-free, no consequence at all for lying. I'm fucking tired of it. It's time to believe Heard. Fuck you, fuck you. The British courts believed Depp beat his wife. What's stopping the rest of us? I don't give a fuck what the British courts say. I care about what the fucking evidence is showing. Wow. Now, let's end with the greatest fucking shot from the trial on the planet.
The lawyers.
This is something that Johnny Depp said about Elon Musk and Amber Heard.
I have no mercy, no fear, and not an ounce of emotion, or what I once thought was love for this gold-digging, low-level, dime-a-dozen, mushy, pointless, dangling, overused, flappy fish market. I'm so fucking happy she wants to go to fight this out. She will hit the wall hard, and I cannot wait to have this waste of a cum guzzler out of my life. I met a fucking sublime little Russian here, which made me realize the time I blew on that 50-cent stripper. I wouldn't touch her with a goddamn glove. I can only hope that karma kicks in and takes the gift of breath from her. Sorry, man, but now I will stop at nothing. Let's see if Mollusk has a pair. Come see me face to face. I'll show him things he's never seen before, like the other side of his dick when I slice it off. Did I read that right?
You did.
Okay, one more thing before I go, because that was fucking glorious, okay? I needed that after reading that stupid article. So, what I okay. What I loved so much was not just what he wrote, actually. It was after he's like, did I read that right? And Johnny Depp's like, you did. He's so proud of himself. And he should be. Now, a lot of people on the internet, a lot of stupid people, as always, are actually taking what Depp said there as proof that he's an abuser because, admittedly, that was a little bit unhinged. But let me explain it to you because I know you're not very intelligent. What you read there, this is the truth, what you read there are not the words of an abuser. Okay? They're not. What you read there were the words of a man who has been brought to his limit. Okay? Who has been abused so badly, has been pushed down rock bottom, and is acting out. He has finally taken all the anger that he's been holding inside, and he let it out, which allowed Depp to feel free. That's why when he said, you did read it right, he smiled. Because even though what he wrote may seem unhinged, it really isn't when you consider what he's been through. Okay? That's the actual truth. He was so happy, not that what he wrote was insane. He was happy that he was able to say what he had truly been feeling all that time because of what Amber did. Those are not the words of an abuser. They are the words of a victim who has hit his limit and couldn't take it anymore. I want you to know that as we finish off this video. Take care.